Hi, great minds. This is Perspectives in Icon Digital Television. I'm Olenyi Oyinye. For 10 weeks now, the students of the Federal University of Nigeria has been at home because of ASUU strike, and it seems the government is not doing anything to address this issue. So we are going to look at the different perspectives to this ASUU strike. So we are going to start with the Minister of State for Education, Honorable Chukwuemeka Nwajuba. Let's look at what he has to say concerning this ASUU strike. According to him, they have done everything possible to please these ASUU people, but they are not just responding. According to him, you cannot continue to expect that somebody who pays you salary, you keep on dictating to the person how he pays your salary. According to him, is impractical and unworkable. According to the Minister of State for Education, the ASUU has insisted that the federal government use their UTAS, that is the platform, the application they developed to pay lecturers, instead of the IPs that the federal government has been using to pay lecturers. According to them, the IPs is not efficient. It doesn't favor them as lecturers. But the federal government has pleaded with them, since you people have been collecting salary with IPs, continue collecting your salaries from IPs so that the children can go back to school. But the ASUU, the lecturers, has refused, insisting that the federal government must use UTAS. But unfortunately, this strike is going to last long and long, because according to the recent development now, the federal government has subjected UTAS to an integrity test, and unfortunately, the UTAS did not pass the integrity test. So this strike is going to. So that is the view of the Minister of State for Education, Chukwuemeka Nwajuba. So again, let's look at what Dr. Chris Ngige is saying about this. According to him, he's saying the same thing. They seems to be saying the same thing, that the government has done everything to please ASUU, but still ASUU refused to be pleased. So that is the standpoint of the government. So if these two persons that are supposed to be at the forefront of resolving this ASUU strike are saying that they have done everything they're supposed to do to resolve this, and still ASUU is proving stubborn, then there is a problem. Now let's look at what the ASUU president, Professor Emmanuel Osodeke, is saying about this. According to him, he said that the government has refused to prioritize the demands of ASUU, has refused to prioritize education system in Nigeria. According to him, he said that what they demanded is for the government to pay them 200 billion, not million, 200 billion yearly to revamp Nigerian federal universities. That is nothing compared to what the government is doing. According to him, he said that the government has approved to pay 4 trillion naira full subsidy. And then this same government cannot, or has refused, to bring out 200 billion naira to revamp Nigerian universities. He was suggesting that the government can as well remove 200 billion naira from the full subsidy and take care of this issue of strike once and for all. He said that it's just an issue of priority, that the government has placed education system in this country at the bottom line. He said again, the government is claiming they don't have money to meet ASUU demand, but this same government coughed out 228 billion naira just to feed Nigerian students. This is funny. This is ridiculous. This same government brought out 228 billion naira for feeding of primary school students. That's the rice they normally eat in the afternoon. But these same students, these same children, will still grow up to meet this ASUU crisis. So what's the need? Well, I'm just checking the perspectives. You have to keep my own emotion in check here. So that is his stand. He also said that in a country whereby you go to Nigerian universities, sometimes the students have lectures in the stadium. sometimes why during lectures you see students sitting on the window frame, you see some students standing. I mean, the Nigerian university is, some of them has dilapidated and they need to be rehabilitated. They need to be taken care of. Some of the facilities in the Nigerian universities need to be taken care of. If you go to the laboratories are poorly equipped, and that is true. Something has to be done. That is why the graduates produced in this country, some of them are not qualified at all. How can they be qualified whereas the laboratories are not highly equipped? And mind you, the money they are requesting for is not just for them. It's for both welfare and taking care of universities, taking care of the laboratories, putting the facilities that should be in the laboratory where it should be, the necessary things that should be put in the laboratories. All this money goes to that. If the laboratories are well equipped and the lecturers are well taken care of, I think things will go smoothly. The necessary knowledge that the students are supposed to acquire from the university, they will acquire it. And when they graduate, you see graduates that can defend their certificates. But look around us now. Almost every day you hear stories of building collapse, this. I think that is a result of this ASUU strike. Yes, indirectly, because it shows that the contractors are not qualified. Yes. Again, when you think of the number of Nigerians going outside for schooling, going abroad to foreign countries to school is alarming. According to recent analysis, it was found out that 1.6 trillion naira goes out to foreign universities to pay for school fees. That is Nigeria. That's what Nigerians spend yearly to fund school fees abroad. Why is this issue? And the people that can do it is only the elites in the society, especially the children of these politicians. So it seems that all these politicians send their children abroad for schooling. The people suffering this ASUU strike are the children of the poor masses. So how can those that send their children abroad dictate what happens in the Nigerian system? That is his point of view. I'm only analyzing the perspectives here. So he was the opinion that if the government should prioritize education, that all this ASUU problem will be put in check. So let's also look at what some of the lecturers are saying. According to them, they say that Nigeria accused Nigerian lecturers of not being faithful to their work. I see a lecturer teaching in Nigerian federal universities and at the same time also teaching in public universities. In defense, the lecturer said, how do you expect a lecturer that is not properly taken care of? Imagine a PhD holder in Nigeria, a PhD, that is a doctorate degree holder in Nigeria, receives a take-home salary of 150,000 naira every month. 150,000 naira. So how do you expect that person to take care of his needs and those of his family? So that person has to take up a second job to support himself. And that is one of the reasons. If a lecturer is playing or is handling two universities at the same time, a federal university and a private university, of course, he will do justice to the private university and not to the federal universities. That's one of the reasons. That's one of the major issues, challenges the lecturers are facing now. So that is what the lecturers are saying. They are not properly taken care of, and some other issues. So I think the federal government and ASUU should do something about this. And again, the students are complaining bitterly. The National Association of Nigerian Students, their leadership, has vowed to disrupt any form of electoral primaries in Nigeria that it can't hold. And thinking about this, you can understand why they are agitating. They can't be languishing at home, and you people are thinking of primaries, thinking of election. Which election? Which election? They have vowed to disrupt it. The Nigerians should get ready to kill them. They have suffered this for a long time. And again, let's look at some of their comments here. Some of them are saying that a course that is supposed to spend 4 years in the university to study, you end up spending 8 years, 9 years because of protracted ASUU strike. And at the end of the day, the same government will put age restrictions when it comes to employment. This is unfair. Yes, this is unfair. The students are lamenting. They are lamenting. Again, some of them has called our leaders some names they shouldn't call them. Some see them as wicked, some see them as not minding whether their electorate are taken care of or not, because they think that they don't care about their own welfare, they don't care about their future, they don't care about anything because of this same ASUU strike. And another person is citing, another student is also citing that this ASUU strike is dated back 40 years back. It's dated like 40 years back. So if at this point, after like 40 years, Nigeria is still struggling with ASUU strike, honestly, when I was small, I started hearing about ASUU strike, ASUU strike, ASUU strike. When is it ever going to end? Look at what this student is saying. We do not have a nation ruled by those who have their electorate best interest at heart. Nigeria is simply a country ruled by vicious and nefarious politicians. I am desperate to leave this country. Our education system is abysmal. That is coming from a student. He's desperate to leave this country. See people taking dangerous routes just in desperation to leave this country because they are just tired of the system. It's frustrating. And now every time we'll be complaining of high crime rates. What do you expect from a student that has been at home doing nothing? The next thing is to look for something else to do. If that person is unlucky, that person will end up committing one crime or the other. The government should do the needful to address this. But not only the government, I think the ASUU has to also adjust their ground. I don't know. It's workable. I've not seen a country that their students, their children will be at home, will stay at home for 10 months and still, they're still looking nothing. Oh my goodness. Any country that wants to move forward, prioritize education. So I'm just pleading that something should be done. Some other students are also agitating, complaining. Okay, this is another tweet coming from another Nigerian student. He said that when they refuse to study in Nigeria, they demonstrate a lack of faith in the country's educational system. They invite engineers, doctors, and lawyers for their own selfish interest. They do not use our project to address socio-economic or political issues. This is coming from a Nigerian student. So they are agitating. And okay, let's look at it this way. All these are leaders when they want to assess medical treatment, they go abroad, because can they take any of their family members or even they themselves, can they go to Nigerian teaching hospitals to assess medical treatment? No. How can you go there? Because it is poor equipped. So they should do something about this thing. They should think about the children, the Nigerian youths that are at home. They should do something. Both the ASUU and the Nigerian government should just adjust a little to reach a consensus to put an end, a permanent end to this ASUU strike. So thank you so much for watching Icon Digital TV, Icon Digital Television, breaking perspectives in the media. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye.